From Max Bishop Stadium on the banks of College Creek on the yard of the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, it's Navy Baseball and Navy Athletics YouTube as the 6-2 midshipmen take on the St. Bonaventure Bonnies in Game 2 of this three-game weekend series here in the state capital of Maryland. Hi again, everybody. I'm Scott Wyckoff along with Director Britton McMahon and Marshall Filipowicz, Navy Assistant Sports Information Director for Baseball. It is a gorgeous day here in Annapolis for baseball. Sunny skies, 51 degrees, a light breeze, about 10 miles per hour blowing out, and it should be a great afternoon baseball. If you're around town, come on down and join us. Navy baseball is free. It is a beautiful day to come out here, enjoy this midshipman club that Chuck Restano has put together. Has started out winning 6 of their first 8 games this season. They have won 2 in a row and do it in fine style yesterday, taking game 1 of this series 5-4 over St. Bonaventure. Brady Bendick, no decision, but another outstanding performance on the mound for the midshipmen. 5 2/3 innings, only allowing a run on 5 hits. He struck out 6. Tyler Gren coming on in relief, but the win goes to Spencer Stevens, his first win on the season, to go along with the save, 2 innings pitched, and the save to Aiden Healy. Good to see him coming back from that Tommy John surgery, pitching a third of the inning in the 9th to put the books on this one as Navy beats St. Bonaventure by a final of 5-4 here today. It'll be Matt Archibald on the mound for the midshipmen, his 3rd start of the season, looking for his first win in 9 innings pitched. He's allowed 6 runs on 10 hits. The junior right-hander, a local guy from not too far from here in Churchville, Maryland, Hartford County, just off of 95. 6'4", 225 pounds. The midshipmen starting this season red hot again. This is a 3-game series here at Max Bishop Field. Sun-baked Terwilliger Stadium, Terwilliger Brothers Field is really sun-baked right now as the midshipmen take to the field to get things going here. We will be back in just a moment for the first pitch, the lineups, as we bring you Navy Baseball on YouTube in a moment. All set to go for Navy baseball here this afternoon at Max Bishop Stadium. Again, sunny, 51 degrees, a beautiful day for baseball. Starting on the mound for the midshipman, Matt Archibald, his 3rd start of the season. A 6.0 ERA, 0-2, 9 innings pitched, allowed 6 runs on 10 hits. For St. Bonaventure, the Bonnies, 3-5. They have lost 2 in a row. Anthony Fernandez, a leadoff hitter, the center fielder, batting number 1. Batting second is the second baseman, Joey Bruno. Batting third, the third baseman, Chris Holcraft. Batting fourth, Calabrent, the right fielder. Batting fifth is the catcher, Antonio Cordero. Batting sixth and playing first base for the Bonnies, Brian Carruthers. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, Christian Lamuth. Batting 8th, the left fielder, Christopher Florentino. And batting 9th in the lineup, the shortstop, Gavin Constantine for St. Bonaventure. Midshipman defensively to get this one going, Ty DePerno behind the plate. At first base, the captain, Victor Izquierdo. At second base, Evan Brown, second game back after missing a couple weeks of action. At shortstop, Henry Mitchell. Third baseman is Patrick Walsh. In the outfield, a pair of plebes, freshmen in left field. It's John Loudon. In center field, the freshman Jake Hooten. And in right field, Mason Ceccarelli. The midshipmen 6-2, 2-0 here at Max Bishop Stadium, 2-2 away and 2-0 in neutral games. The midshipmen have won 2 in a row, as this is the second of an 8-game homestand for Navy. And boy, what a road trip to start the season for St. Bonaventure. This is the 9th of 18 straight games to start the season on the road for the Bonnies. Their first home game is March 20th, as they'll take on St. Louis. So the midshipmen from the Patriot League against the Bonnies of the Atlantic 10, the A10. Matt Archibald, the tall right-hander, delivers. First pitch misses outside. Leading it off is Anthony Fernandez. 3 for 5 yesterday. The senior, 5 for 10, 180 pounds. Fastball misses outside. From Cranston, Rhode Island, played at Cranston East High School. A lot of the development on this St. Bonaventure's team coming from players from junior college, known as community colleges around these parts, and for good reason. Their head coach, Jason Rathbone, a legend in junior college baseball, both as a player and a coach. 17 seasons for Herkimer, a real powerhouse in upstate New York. 3 balls, 1 strike. Leadoff hitter Fernandez up against junior right-hander for the midshipman, Matt Archibald. 4-4 last season. Misses away, so he will walk the leadoff hitter. Joey Bruno, second baseman, 6'1", 195 pounds from Lake Orion, Michigan. Bruno batting .217. He has started all 9 games so far this season for the Bonnies. Right-handed hitting second baseman. Navy second baseman Evan Brown shades over a little bit towards second base, with Fernandez getting a good lead off of first. Chris Holcraft, senior, on deck. 1-0 count. The delivery from Matt Archibald, knocked down behind the plate by Ty DePerno. Ty, real workhorse to start the season back behind the plate. Back-to-back starts again after yesterday's 5-4 win to start this series against the Bonnies yesterday afternoon. Archibald misses low and away. 2 balls, no strikes. 3 balls, no strikes. Nobody out, just underway in Annapolis on this sunny Saturday afternoon. A good crowd here at Max Bishop Stadium taking in the first Saturday home game of the season for the midshipmen. Strike called by home plate umpire John Harrington. Stephen McMullen at first base. Third base umpire is Jerry Martinez, as assigned by the Patriot League. From the stretch, Archibald breaking ball for a strike. So a full count now. Fell behind 3-0 after walking the leadoff hitter, Anthony Fernandez. And now for the 6-2 midshipman, Matt Archibald. Sets. And the payoff pitch. Breaking ball just misses the inside corner. So back-to-back walks to lead off the game for the Bonnies, as that came in at 77 miles per hour from the Navy right-hander. 4-4 last season, a 3.64 ERA for Matt Archibald. Led the midshipmen with 66 strikeouts, which was also good for 5th in the Patriot League. Already has 13 strikeouts in his first 2 appearances this season. Squaring to bunt, foul off the bat of Chris Holcraft. Holcraft batting .313, his 33rd at bat of the season, as he too has started all 9 games now this season for the 3-5 St. Bonaventure Bonnies. coming into this one having lost 2 in a row, most recently yesterday here to Navy, 5-4. Squares to bunt again, pulls back, looks at it for a strike. So Matt Archibald ahead in the count now. 0-2, 2 on, nobody out. Runners at first and second for St. Bonaventure. 9th game of their 18 straight road trip to start the season. Ground ball in the hole between second and third. Rounding third and scoring will be Anthony Fernandez. Head first, he dives across home plate. And it's a 1-0 lead here in the first for St. Bonaventure. And a hard hit ball into right field and left field, fielded nicely by John Loudon, but no chance at all with getting a good hop off of second base was Anthony Fernandez. So taking advantage of the back-to-back walks to lead off the game, Fernandez scores on the base hit by Holcraft, who is down in the count 0-2, and then gets the hit. Midshipman in on the corners just a little bit now. Joey Calabretti, 6'2", 205 pounds, Percy, Pennsylvania native. Looks at the 1-0 pitch. In for a strike from Matt Archibald. Mentioned Matt, local product of John Carroll High School, nearby Churchville, Maryland, Harford County, just off of 95. Also did a postgraduate year at one of the Naval Academy Foundation School, Mercersburg Academy. Swung on and missed by Calabretti. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. 1 run has scored for St. Bonaventure here in the top half of the first inning. The cleanup hitter swung on and missed. Nice breaking ball and first strikeout of the ball game for Matt Archibald. His 14th of the season. First out of the ball game.
Now batting the catcher, number 7,
Antonio Cordero behind the plate in this one. We're talking about these kind of cool uniforms that St. Bonaventure wearing today. White shoulders and sleeves. It kind of transitions down into the gray, fully gray pants and the white helmets. The midshipmen in their Saturday cream-colored jerseys swung on and missed. First pitch to Antonio Cordero. Midshipmen wore the really cool Jolly Rogers uniforms from the Army-Navy series last season, and tomorrow we'll wear those brand new script Navy pinstripe uniforms in the series finale. Misses away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 1 run scored. The leadoff hitter, Anthony Fernandez, on the base hit to left field, scoring from second base. Runners at first and second for the Bonnies. Another breaking ball fouled hard down the third base line. Really good crowd here at Max Bishop Stadium this afternoon for the first Saturday home game of the season. And Mother Nature has treated the folks here to a beautiful afternoon. Bunch of young people up on top of the Joe Duff batting facility looking down on Terwilliger Brothers Field as Matt Archibald steps off the back of the rubber. Antonio Cordero, the catcher from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh Central Catholic High School, 6'1", 210 pounds. Ground ball, foul again down the third base line. 1 ball, 2 strikes. First baseman Carruthers is on deck. Midshipmen have won 2 in a row, second of an 8-game homestand. Tomorrow afternoon, 1 o'clock here against St. Bonaventure again. And then on Tuesday against Coppin State, right back here in Annapolis at 3 o'clock before the big weekend series next week against Dartmouth. Ground ball up the middle. Midshipmen looking for the double play to second for 1. Back to first. And the midshipmen get out of it on a nice double play. And Mitchell to Brown to Izquierdo. Midshipmen do give up a run on a hit. We'll be back with Navy's home half of the first. Home half of the first inning, Midshipmen down 1-0. Navy baseball returns here to Max Bishop Stadium tomorrow afternoon, closing out this three-game series with St. Bonaventure. As we do every Sunday here at the ballpark, kids in attendance will be invited to run the bases following the game. And sometimes I think the parents and grandparents and family and friends enjoy it more than the kids, getting to see them out there in Terwilliger Brothers Field. So be sure to come out here to the ballpark in Annapolis, enjoy this great weekend of Navy baseball, and a great weekend of Navy sports. Started relatively early this morning. 9:30 was the face-off for the women's lacrosse team, the 10th ranked Midshipmen, and they knocked off number 7 Florida 14-11. So Navy starting the year, the women's lacrosse team, a perfect 5-0. So they will be off until next Saturday when they start their Florida spring trip at USF on Saturday, a trip that will also take them to Jacksonville. So what a job the ladies lacrosse team has done here for Navy, as they have opened up the season 5-0, number 10, knocking off powerhouse number 7 Florida. Heard Tim Nolan on our Navy radio broadcast on our flagship station WNAV, bringing that game to the folks this morning. After we're done here on the yard, it'll be Navy basketball at 4 o'clock as the Midshipmen take on Colgate. Final home game of the regular season, senior day at Alumni Hall, and then all eyes focused on Thursday, the top seed in the Patriot League for the tournament, the Midshipmen. Trying to see who they will play on Thursday in the opener of the tournament. And of course, right now, we'll get you an updated score in just a few minutes. The Navy men's lacrosse team on the road in Boston, taking on the Terriers. So it's a huge day for Navy athletics. John Loudon leads it off for the Midshipmen. Freshman left fielder had that huge game to begin his college career down in Charlotte against Queens. Making a real statement the way he can play. 2 freshmen starting in the outfield for the Midshipmen, not only in left field, the leadoff hitter John Loudon, who is even in the count at 1-1, but also Jake Hooten, who got his first start of his college career yesterday. Swung on and missed. Fastball from the left-hander, the starter for St. Bonaventure, Nolan Fight, a junior right-hander, 6'4", 180 pounds, from Syracuse, New York. Went to Bishop Ludden High School, and also one of those players who played a couple years of junior college baseball at Niagara County Community College. Called third strike on a breaking ball away to John Loudon. 1 up, 1 down for the Midshipmen. Second start of the season for Fight, 1-0 last Saturday. Pretty impressive on the road against Middle Tennessee. Pitched into the 9th. Struck out 5, walked 8. And Middle Tennessee only hitting .219 against him in his first career start. Mason Ceccarelli steps in for the Midshipmen, fouls it back to the screen. Sophomore right fielder, batting .320, has now started all 9 games for Navy. Left-handed hitter, was 0 for 3 yesterday with an RBI. Also saw his on-base streak dating back to last season end at 10 games. Bouncing ball in the turf at 85 miles per hour. Shortstop Gavin Constantine faded a little bit over towards second base for the left-handed hitting second batter for Navy. Ceccarelli looks at a fastball, 82 miles per hour outside, ahead in the count, 2-1. Victor Izquierdo, the Navy captain, first baseman, the senior, already with a couple home runs this season, on deck for the Midshipmen. 1 away, Navy trailing 1-0 here in the home half of the first inning. And that's the heat that we can see from the 6'4" left-hander Nolan Fight at 90 miles per hour. 4-0 last season with a save at Niagara County Community College. He works from the stretch, popped it up towards second base, kind of blooped over that way towards Joey Bruno. A little trouble with the sun, but able to make the put out. And 2 away for the Midshipmen, breaking up Victor Izquierdo. batting .321. Has 9 hits already this season. 2 home runs, a double, and a triple. So a good slugging percentage of .643 for the right-handed hitting Navy first baseman. First pitch misses low from Fight. Victor 1 for 4 with a double and 2 RBI yesterday in the 5-4 win to get this series going for the midshipman. And he lines one, diving play by Gavin Constantine at short on a hard hit ball by Victor Izquierdo. Going to his right and making the stab is Gavin Constantine to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down, 1 complete. St. Bonaventure leads Navy 1-0. Navy baseball returns in a moment. Move to the second inning. Navy trailing St. Bonaventure 1-0. The number 1 seeded Navy men's basketball team starts their run at a Patriot League championship at Alumni Hall this Thursday, March 5th, as they host the quarterfinals at 7 o'clock. Don't miss out on the Patriot League tournament action right here in Annapolis. Your top seeded midshipmen. For tickets, call 1-800-US4-NAVY or visit NavySports.com. And if you're around town today, you can also catch Navy basketball, 4 o'clock. Tip-off at Alumni Hall in the regular season finale, Senior Day, as they take on Colgate. Today's Navy baseball game is brought to you by Hawkeye 360, by Johns Hopkins U.S. Family Health Plan, by the Maryland Energy Administration, by Tilly Distribution, and by Blackwall Hitch and the Lodge Annapolis. Scott Wyckoff, along with our director, Britton McMahon, Navy Assistant Sports Information Director for Baseball, Marshall Filipowitz, alongside Navy and St. Bonaventure, the first time these two teams have ever met in a series. Midshipmen taking the first of the 3-game series yesterday afternoon, 5-4. And here this afternoon, St. Bonaventure has opened up a 1-0 lead as they bat for the second time. Brian Carruthers, the sophomore from Bethlehem, New York, Christian Brothers Academy. 6'4", 225 pounds. Carruthers batting .267. His 16th at bat of the season. Has now played in 5 of the 8 games, 9 games this season so far for St. Bonaventure. Mentioned a little bit earlier, sunny and 51 for the first pitch, and also the wind blowing as we look out to left center field, the big American flag. Army up right now in Lafayette, 14-6 at the end of the first in women's basketball. So as you see around the Patriot League, a lot of action. 1 up and 1 away. It's the bottom of the order here in the second inning. Christian Lamoth, 6 foot, 205 freshman from San Juan Capistrano. Left-handed hitter. Is working from the windup is Matt Archibald. Toes the rubber right in the middle of the mound. Kicks with that left leg and delivers. Fly ball into right field, foul territory, but up on the hill where on a sunny afternoon, a number of folks are taking in the ball game here at Max Bishop Stadium. Really great crowd as this exciting brand of baseball that Chuck Restano has brought to Annapolis at the Naval Academy. Great to watch, especially on a great day like this. And swung on and missed on the high fastball from Archibald. After all the crummy weather we've had around here, just glad to get out and watch some baseball in Annapolis for the midshipmen. Breaking ball misses away from Matt Archibald. 3rd start of the season for the junior right-hander. a Patriot League Player of the Week last season in late April. Fouled back to the screen. Missed his entire plebe season, freshman season, with an injury, and really came on the scene last year with that 4-4 record and a real impressive 3.64 ERA. Even in the count, 2-2. Now 3 balls and 2 strikes to Lamuth. The left fielder, Christopher Florentino, is on deck for St. Bonaventure. They lead it 1-0. They're in the top of the second inning. Archibald struck him out. Second strikeout of the ball game as he got him to go down looking. Christian Lamuth. And 2 away just like that here in the second inning. Left fielder Christopher Florentino. Right-handed hitting freshman, 6'3", 210 pounds, from Hazleton, Pennsylvania. Played his high school baseball at Hazleton Area High School. First pitch strike from Matt Archibald. So Matt has found his command here quickly in the second inning. Walked a couple batters, leading to that 1 run. Swung on and missed. He's ahead in the count, 0-2. Here in the bottom of the order. Midshipman playing Florentino straight away in the outfield. There's a breaking ball. Strike 3. He struck him out to end the inning. Big second inning. 3 strikeouts for Matt Archibald to put them down as we move to the bottom of the second. Navy trails 1-0. Navy baseball will return in a moment. Home half of the second, Navy trails St. Bonaventure 1-0. Navy women's lacrosse returns to Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium as they take on Jacksonville on Tuesday, March 10th at 2 p.m. It'll be $2 Tuesday, and fans will be able to enjoy $2 popcorn from the concession stand. All home Navy women's lacrosse games are free to attend. Hope to see you there, and what a win by the Navy women's lacrosse team earlier today as they were able to knock off number 7 Florida 14-11, a come-from-behind win for the 10th ranked Mids, who are now 5-0 in the season. Next up for them on the road at USF on next Saturday. Ty DePerno will lead it off for the midshipmen here in the second after a second inning that saw Matt Archibald strike out the side. Ty 1 for 3 with a triple yesterday. The 2025 Patriot League Rookie of the Year hits a pop-up short right field. Second baseman Evan Brown, actually second baseman Joey Bruno, makes his second put out of a pop-out. And the second time he's been able to battle the sun, putting his hand up there, making the play. 1 away on a first pitch out to Ty DePerno. Also a 2026 preseason first team All-Patriot League selection for the midshipmen. Evan Brown squares the bunt. Watches it go back to the screen. He's ahead in the count. Evan returning to the lineup yesterday. 0-2, but did score a run. Played both second base like he is today and also third base, a position he played last year. Had a stolen base and caught stealing. He hits a fly ball to center field. Anthony Fernandez to his right, just shy of the warning track, makes the putout. So quick couple outs for the left-handed starter, Nolan Fight, for St. Bonaventure. They move towards the bottom of the Navy order. Andrew Manning, midshipman's designated hitter. Played a lot of right field last season. It's done a nice job so far this year as a DH, batting .321. Started all but one of the midshipmen's 9 games this season. Looks at the first pitch from the left-hander. 89 miles per hour, a little bit high. Andrew, 0 for 4 yesterday as a designated hitter. Did strike out 3 times. Coming off a big day at the plate last week on Sunday on the Navy trip to South Carolina. 3 for 5 with an RBI in that win over Marshall. He's ahead in the count now, 2-0, 2 outs. Nobody on. We're in the bottom of the second. Navy trails 1-0 as that one gets away from Nolan Fight. Now Andrew Manning looking to get things going with 2 outs. Left-handed hitting designated hitter. With that left foot in the back of the batter's box. A little bit of an open stance. Looks at a strike called by home plate umpire John Harrington. First weekend series of the season at home for Navy. Yesterday, the 5-4 win here this afternoon. And then tomorrow afternoon to wrap things up. Swing on and miss. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs to Andrew Manning. Jake Hooten. Navy's freshman center fielder is on deck. Hoping to get an at-bat here in the second. Breaking ball away, and there's the walk for Andrew Manning. So Hooten will get an opportunity. Big day yesterday for Jake. Getting his first college start. Got a hit, 1 for 2. The double, a stolen base, and also 2 runs scored. He has a chance to maybe get something going with 2 outs here for Navy in the second. Andrew Manning, after the walk, leads off first. Andrew Fight did get Andrew Manning leaning back towards first, but he also threw a ball to Hooten. Jake Hooten, 6'2", 205 pounds, from Gulf Breeze, Florida, and Gulf Breeze High School. Looks at a fastball, missing outside. He's now ahead in the count, 2-0. And fellow freshman played Patrick Walsh. Third baseman is on deck. The pitch. Line drive, base hit to left field. The midshipmen have 2 on now with 2 outs. After the walk to Andrew Manning, he is now at second base, and a hard hit ball and a high fastball by Jake Hooten. So a hit in each of his first 2 starts as a Division I player, and that will be a trip to the mound by pitching coach Jackson Root to talk things over with Nolan Fight, with the midshipman with 2 on and 2 out. Navy men's and women's basketball have both clinched the number 1 seed and will both have home court advantage throughout the Patriot League tournament. Don't miss any of this year's Patriot League tournament here in Annapolis, as both the men's and women's basketball teams look to make a run at a Patriot League championship, and what comes with it, a berth in the NCAA tournament March Madness. For tickets, call 1-800-US4-NAVY or visit NavySports.com. 2 on, 2 out for Navy. Bottom of the second inning. Patrick Walsh, left-handed hitting third baseman. With 2 on, runner in scoring position at second base is Andrew Manning. Left-hander Fight, after the appearance from his pitching coach out of the mound, Jackson Root, misses away. Patrick was 0 for 4 yesterday, struck out a couple times. Up until that point, had recorded an extra base hit in 4 straight games. What a week he had last week. Patrick Walsh, heading the count 1-0, swung on and missed. High fastball, a little bit outside the strike zone at 89 miles per hour. Following a sensational week at the plate in South Carolina, named the Patriot League Rookie of the Week, a machine for the midshipmen in Columbia with a .400 batting average. As Navy had a real nice road trip, misses high at 89 miles per hour. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Patrick Walsh with runners at first and second. 7 for 14 with 3 runs scored and 5 RBI and 3 doubles in that road trip for Patrick Walsh. Also some nice plays at third base in the home opener here, the win for the midshipmen over Delaware State. Made a couple really nice plays at third base. So with Evan Brown returning to the lineup, Evan is now moved over to second base. Nolan Fight behind the count, 3-1. Fisted off the hands of Patrick Walsh into the Navy class of 71 dugout. Coach Restano making sure everybody's alert over there. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Navy down by a single run here in the bottom of the second inning. Bottom of the order. Henry Mitchell, the 9th batter, is on deck. Walsh, bouncing ball towards the first baseman, Carruthers. He'll flip to first. Got him! Close play at first. Nolan Fight lost his cap running over there and just got the flip in time from Carruthers, beating Walsh to the base. So that will do it for Navy here in this second inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We move to the third. St. Bonaventure 1, Navy nothing. We'll return in a moment. To the third in Annapolis. St. Bonaventure out in front of Navy, 1-0. You're listening to Navy Baseball from the Navy Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Navy Federal Credit Union proudly serves the armed forces, veterans, and their families. Our members are the mission, insured by NCUA. And Navy women's basketball returns to Alumni Hall on Wednesday, March 4th, as they take on Loyola at 7 o'clock in the final game of the regular season. For women's basketball, tickets are just $10, or groups of 20 or more can receive discounted tickets. For tickets, call 1-800-US4-NAVY or visit NavySports.com. And what a season Tim Taylor's team has had. The number 1 seed, just like the Navy men under first-year head coach John Perry, in the upcoming Patriot League tournament. Alumni Hall, the place to be, coming up over the next week. Navy men waiting to see who they will play in the quarterfinals on Thursday to get it all going. Matt Archibald, who struck out the side in the second, now see the bottom of the order, fouled off his leg. Gavin Constantine, 6 foot, 180-pound junior from McKinney, Texas, McKinney North High School. This is his third start of this young season. 79 miles per hour, just misses low and away. There's a called strike. Leadoff hitter who has scored the game's only run, Anthony Fernandez, is on deck. And it was Gavin Constantine who has made the play of the game so far. He strikes out. So Matt Archibald, 4 consecutive strikeouts now. Brings up Anthony Fernandez. Constantine took a possibly an extra base hit away from Victor Izquierdo on a line shot to shortstop. Top of the order for St. Bonaventure. Anthony Fernandez, who walked and scored in the first, fouls it back towards the Navy women's softball field. One of the great things about Navy baseball is it is on the yard, but outside the gate, so really easy just to drive up here as a line drive, base hit for Fernandez. His second at bat, second time he's reached first, walked in the first, and now has that base hit with one away.
Next up, the second baseman, number 1.
Yeah, real easy to come to the ballpark here. You don't have to go through the gates, especially on the weekend when only one of the gate 8 is open. You're able to come here, and I know a lot of folks, a lot of the parents of the Navy players will actually walk here from their hotels in town. And there's a big crowd here at Max Bishop Stadium today. A lot of them getting their first look at this Navy team. It's off to a 6-2 start. Breaking ball, strike from Matt Archibald. 78 miles per hour. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Joey Bruno has made a couple putouts in the field, Lake Orion, Michigan. The runner goes. Fernandez safe on the steal. Tough one for Ty DePerno as it was low in the zone. And let's see. Bit of a discussion right now from head coach Jason Rathbun. Coach Raz for St. Bonaventure upset with John Harrington behind the plate. And they're going to send Fernandez back to first base. Fernandez got a good jump and was able to slide what looked to be safely. That'll do it for the hitter. So he is out. Joey Bruno out, and the runner goes back to first base. And they're 2 away. So a big break for the midshipmen. And now Navy head coach Chuck Restano will come out to get an explanation from John Harrington. 3rd season for Coach Restano. Just the 6th coach in the last 85 years for Navy baseball. Really building this program in his image. Has done such a great job, and now this his 3rd season, bringing in some top players, and you see that from the Navy lineup today with Patrick Walsh, John Loudon, Jake Hooten, all freshmen, all plebes playing vital roles in the starting lineup. So 2 down now as we've got that all worked out. Fernandez back at first base. This time Ty DePerno blocks the pitch, keeps it in front of the plate. Chris Holcraft, the senior from Fayetteville Manlius High School in upstate New York, at the plate now. He's heading the count 1-0. Fernandez takes off. DePerno throws it down to second. Oh, safe. Looked as though Stephen McMullen, the umpire, was going to call him out and see if he held the bag. So Fernandez, who had to go back after apparently stealing second earlier in the inning, now is down there. So 2 outs, runner in scoring position, the same spot where Anthony Fernandez was when Carl Holcraft, the batter who's at the plate now, drove him in with a base hit to left field. Archibald trying to get out of this one with a 79-mile-per-hour breaking ball. One of the great things about Matt Archibald is he is able to throw a hard breaking ball that can really put you back on your heels. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Just missed on the outside corner, but it'll be called a strike down by Stephen McMullen at first, saying that Holcraft did present his bat. 2-2, 2 away. Calabretti on deck. Runner in scoring position, Fernandez for St. Bonaventure at second base. Navy right-hander, Matt Archibald. Misses, it gets away from Ty DePerno. Back to the screen. Fernandez down to third base, puts on the brakes there. In front of associate head coach B.J. Salerno, third base coach. So he will stop at third. The count is full now to Holcraft with 2 down. As Matt Archibald already with 5 strikeouts, looking to end the inning on a strikeout here. The full count. The right-hander's pitch. Looping ball, base hit into right field. That will score Fernandez, and a 2-0 lead for St. Bonaventure. So twice, Anthony Fernandez reaching base, and twice he has scored for the 2-0 lead for the Bonnies with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning. A 2-out rally manufactured just a bit by Fernandez with his speed stealing second base, and then the ball got away back to the screen, got to 3rd, and then scores on the base hit. And both times, Chris Holcraft has brought him in. So Holcraft, a pair of base hits, bringing in a pair of runs, and Holcraft takes off, and losing a handle of it behind the plate is Ty DePerno as he kind of popped up to try to throw down to second base. So Holcraft down to second with the stolen base. So a runner in scoring position for St. Bonaventure. They've already scored 1 here in the top of the 3rd. Add that to the one in the top of the 1st, and they have a 2-0 lead. Swung on and missed by Joey Calabretti. The right fielder also can play a little first base for St. Bonaventure's. 6'2", 205 pounds. Holcraft, the leadoff is second. Swung on and missed. Throw down to first. And there's another strikeout, the 6th of the game for Matt Archibald. But not before St. Bonaventure gets 1 run on 2 hits, no errors. They leave 2. We move now to the bottom of the 3rd. Navy trails the Bonnies 2-0. Navy baseball returns in a moment. Home half of the 3rd, Navy down 2 runs to St. Bonaventure. Navy football season tickets are on sale now. Join us all season long for 5 home games at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium here in Annapolis, and enjoy one of the best atmospheres in all of college football by purchasing your Navy football season tickets today. Navy returning 12 starters off a team that won a school record tying 11 games last season while defeating both Army and Air Force to win the Commander-in-Chief's Trophy in back-to-back years to go along with a Liberty Bowl win over Cincinnati. Navy will kick off the 2026 football season at home on September 5th against Towson. The Mids also facing Notre Dame at Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, and it's the 127th Army-Navy game presented by USAA on Saturday, December 12th at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Go to NavySports.com or call 1-800-US4-NAVY for ticket information today. Leading it off in the home half of the 3rd for Navy, Henry Mitchell, batting 9th in Chuck Restano's order here this afternoon. 2 for 2 yesterday with a walk, an RBI, and a run scored. The Navy shortstop behind in the count to lead it off at 0-2 up against junior right-hander Nolan Fight. Left-handed pitch driven to right field, hard hit, so hard that trying to make a play on him at first base is the right fielder Joey Calabretti, as that was drilled by Mitchell, but Calabretti's throw into first, high up over the glove of Brian Carruthers, backed up nicely by Antonio Cordero, the catcher. So staying at first with the leadoff hit to start the inning is Henry Mitchell. He really drilled that. Well, the Army women's basketball team up at the half now. There's a lot of action going on, not only here in Annapolis in the Patriot League. Navy midshipmen basketball team, the men, this afternoon at 4 o'clock. And here it's Patriot League against the A-10 for Navy and St. Bonaventure. Leadoff runner at first base is Henry Mitchell. John Loudon, top of the order. He pops one down the first base side into foul territory. Brian Carruthers then comes back into fair territory and makes the putout. One down. Ball blown from foul territory back into fair territory off the bat of John Loudon. Mason Ceccarelli, who popped up to second baseman Joey Bruno in the first, with a runner at first now, left-handed hitting Navy right fielder with Victor Izquierdo on deck. The left-hander delivers for St. Bonaventure. Breaking ball low and inside at 73 miles per hour, taken for a ball by Mason Ceccarelli. Gets the call from the bench, looks down at his waistband, see what it is. Taking off at first is Mitchell. Looked to be picked off and is. Mitchell running down to second base. The throw to first, then down to second as Mitchell has a little discussion with second baseman Joey Bruno, who was in on the tag. So the midshipmen lose the runner. The leadoff hit from Mitchell as he is thrown out at second base, caught stealing. So two down just like that as Mason Ceccarelli looking for his second pitch of this bat. The first was a ball. So nice pickoff move by Nolan Fight. There's a base hit into the corner in left field. Mason Ceccarelli on a horse around first. A stand-up double for Navy's right fielder as he lined that down the left field line into the corner. And with two away, the midshipmen have a runner in scoring position after that double off the bat of Mason Ceccarelli on a 90-mile-per-hour pitch from Fight that was up in the zone, and he fought it off and down the line. So Victor Izquierdo, who really hit it hard, is going to be walked intentionally after they saw what he could do on that line drive that was caught by Gavin Constantine earlier in the ball game. And with two away, Izquierdo will draw the intentional walk. So he takes off all his protective gear, his batting gloves, flips them over towards the on-deck circle, down to first base now. And the midshipmen with two on and two out. And Ty DiPerno steps in. Flew out to right field in the second inning. Right-handed hitting catcher. Looks at a fastball. Low and away at 90 miles per hour. The fastest pitch we have seen today from Nolan Fight, the junior right-hander, in his first year at St. Bonaventure after playing a couple years of junior college baseball at Niagara County Community College. Was 4-0 last year in his 29 innings pitched, had 31 strikeouts. Has one strikeout in this one. Two Navy runners on at first and second, two away. Fight misses inside. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Ty DiPerno at the plate for the midshipmen with Evan Brown on deck. Navy trailing by a pair, down 2-0 in the bottom of the third. Fight works from the stretch, looks back to second base. His pitch, breaking ball, misses low. Count to 3-1 to Ty DiPerno. Behind the plate in all 3 last weekend in South Carolina, and so far in the first 2 in this series this weekend against St. Bonaventure. And he flies a ball to right field. Joey Calabretti steps in and makes the put away. So that'll do it in the third for the midshipmen. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left. We move to the fourth. Navy trails St. Bonaventure 2-0. Back with more baseball here in a moment. To the fourth in Annapolis, St. Bonaventure 2, Navy nothing. Looking for a great way for your kids to spend their summer? Sign them up for one of our many Navy sports summer camps, offering a wide range of summer camps for kids of all ages and all skill levels. One of the most popular, the one held right here at Max Bishop Stadium by Navy head coach Chuck Restano and his staff. For more information about Navy summer camps and to register, it's easy. Just go to navysports.com. Today's Navy baseball game is brought to you by Hawkeye 360, by Johns Hopkins U.S. Family Health Plan, by the Maryland Energy Administration, by Tilly Distribution, and by Blackwall Hitch and the Lodge Annapolis. Scott Wyckoff, along with Director Britton McMahon and Navy Assistant Sports Information Director for Baseball, Marshall Filipowicz. Glad to have you along here on Navy Athletics YouTube this afternoon. We'll be right back here tomorrow. Tim Nolan, who did an incredible job calling the women's lacrosse win today for the midshipmen, as number 10 Navy knocked off number 7 Florida 14-11. Tim Nolan will have the call here tomorrow on Navy Athletics YouTube, also on our Navy flagship radio station, WNAV. Anthony Cordero, the catcher, leads off for St. Bonaventure. 6'1", 210 pounds. 0 for 1 so far in this one. Midshipmen play him straight away. 6 strikeouts so far for Navy starter Matt Archibald. Sets and delivers. Fouled off the mask of Ty DiPerno back behind the plate. So going out to get the ball will be home plate umpire Stephen McMullen, and giving Ty a little chance to shake that one off. Nice job by the home plate umpire to help out his colleague behind the plate, knowing exactly how that feels. 1 ball, 1 strike to Cordero, leading off here in the 4th inning, the middle of the order for St. Bonaventure. They are 3-5, coming off the loss yesterday to start this series against the midshipmen. Mids won that one 5-4. Pops it straight back. DiPerno will try to get to it right in front of the Navy dugout and can't. Goes off his wrist as he slides back towards the on-deck circle for that foul ball. So Ty DiPerno getting really banged up behind the plate. On the pitch before that was hit in the mask off the foul ball, and that time hit off the wrist as that ball was moving from right to left across your screen right behind the plate here over towards the Navy on deck circle. But it does add up to a 1-2 count. Ahead in the count is Matt Archibald. Starts with the glove in front of his face and then pitches. Fouled again back to the screen. Matt's father played baseball at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. His sister, a outstanding college volleyball player at Iona, the MAC Player of the Year when she was at Iona. His brother also big-time college baseball player. Swung on, would have been the 3rd strike, but it gets away back to the screen. So the leadoff hitter is down at first, reaching on the ball that gets away from the combination of Matt Archibald and Ty DiPerno. Strikeout, so he will advance on the wild pitch. I'm talking about Matt's brother. Played baseball not only in Arizona and West Virginia, but also at Mercer and George Mason. Not going to see that from his brother Matt. He will have a fine 4-year career here at the Naval Academy, into his 3rd season now for the junior right-hander. Leadoff hitter is on at first. The pitch. In for a strike. Already 7 strikeouts for Matt Archibald. Looks over his left shoulder. Works from the stretch. Sets from the waist. This one got away again. Looked as though it might have been a foul ball, but checking his swing was Brian Carruthers. All right, now that's been the biggest demon for Matt Archibald and Ty DiPerno. A couple of those balls getting away, leading to the first run of the ball game, and now putting the first batter of the inning in scoring position at second base for St. Bonaventure. 0-2 is the count to Brian Carruthers. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. 8th strikeout of the ball game for Matt Archibald. One away. 79 miles per hour, low and away. A nasty pitch that sent Carruthers back to the dugout. So Christian Lamoth steps in now, the 6', 205-pound freshman from San Juan Capistrano, California. Ground ball to third. Walsh looks back the runner at second, plays it over to first. And like that, 2 away. Good job by Patrick Walsh. Looking the runner back to second and then making the throw over to first that was scooped off the turf by Victor Izquierdo. 2 outs. Runner at second base. Florentino steps in now for St. Bonaventure. Navy, second of an 8-game homestand. Back-to-back weekends here at Max Bishop Stadium. After a midweek game on Tuesday against Coppin State here. Big weekend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Big Green of Dartmouth College in. We'll have them all for you here. Swung on and missed by Christopher Florentino. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 away. Runner at second base. Friday, Saturday's a doubleheader. First pitch for game 1 at 1 o'clock. And then also 1 o'clock on Sunday. Archibald swung on and missed again. 88 miles per hour. A ball well out of the strike zone to right-handed hitting Christopher Florentino. Swings right through it. And Archibald is ahead in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. Checks the runner at second, delivers, and there he goes. It's a foul ball, but this time right into the glove of Ty DePerno for the 9th strikeout of the ball game for Matt Archibald as he gets out of it. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Navy trailing St. Bonaventure 2-0 here on Navy Athletics YouTube. Home half of the 4th. Navy looking to get back into this one, trailing 2-0 to St. Bonaventure. Navy fans, don't forget the online shopping experience offered by our partner Fanatics at NavySports.com. Just click on the Shop tab and find all the latest Navy Under Armour apparel at great prices. The store is the perfect place to shop for yourself or the Navy fan in your family. See the latest Navy merchandise at NavySports.com. There's also some great Navy baseball merchandise here at Max Bishop Stadium, right where you go to the concession stand to get your hot dog and beer. You can also find out the latest in Navy baseball swag from Under Armour. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for St. Bonaventure. For Navy, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Leading it off for Navy, Evan Brown. 0 for 1. Flew out to center field in his first at bat in the 2nd inning. The left-hander fires one in. It's fouled straight back by Evan Brown. Brown, good to see him back in the lineup yesterday. Missed a series in South Carolina, and now back at second base for the midshipman, and fouls another one back towards the screen off the junior 6'4" right-hander Nolan Fight. Fight ahead in the count to Evan Brown, 0-2. Breaking ball away. outside. 1-2 strikes. Evan Brown leading off the home half of the fourth inning for Navy, trailing 2-0. 1 run in the first and 1 in the third for St. Bonaventure. Breaking ball hit hard to third base where Chris Holcraft makes the play over to first, 1 away on the ground ball out off the bat of Evan Brown. Andrew Manning, who walked and then was stranded at second base in his first at bat in the second inning, steps in to the left side of the plate for the midshipman. Navy starting the season winning 6 of their first 8. Perfect 2-0 here at home. Fisted back to the screen off the bat of Andrew Manning. What a breakout season Andrew Manning had last year. Second team All-Patriot League. Designated hitter, breaking ball at 75 miles per hour, right down the middle. To the midshipman from Natick, Massachusetts and Boston College High School. Nolan Fight works from the stretch. His breaking ball high and inside now. 1-2 strikes, 1 out. Andrew Manning at the plate with Jake Hooten, freshman center fielder, on deck for the midshipman. Joey Bruno, the second baseman, just on the outfield part of the turf here at Terwilliger Brothers Field, where last season the new turf was put down and has really settled nicely, and one of the best playing surfaces you're going to find in the Mid-Atlantic in college baseball. Fouled away by Andrew Manning, and what a difference the development of the field turf has made for not only college baseball but also for high school baseball in these areas, especially with all the snow that we've had here in Annapolis over the last few weeks. You got to believe that that would have cost the midshipmen some games, and it really hasn't. That ball thrown behind Andrew Manning, and it hit the bat. So the ball thrown behind the helmet where Andrew Manning, with his open stance, had the bat. So a foul ball. The count evens at 2-2 with 1 away and 1 out. There's one that hits Andrew Manning. So the last one went over the back of his head, his bat. That one hit him in the elbow. So Andrew Manning down to first base for the midshipman. The 21st time a midshipman has been hit by a pitch. First time it's been Andrew Manning. So Manning is plunked. He is down at first with 1 out. Gets a nice lead. Jake Hooten steps in. He hits one right up the middle. It is gloved by Constantine. Steps on second. Not in time over to first to make the put out. So just not hard enough to get by actually Joey Bruno, who went over to make the play. Both he and Constantine getting to the ball, but Bruno made the play, and that could be the reason it wasn't a double play, because Bruno's momentum taking him away from first base, where Hooten was able to beat the relay throw. 2 down for the midshipman on the fielder's choice at second base. Swinging right through that one is Patrick Walsh, freshman third baseman for Navy. Came into the ball game the leading hitter for the midshipmen, batting .350. Holds his hands high, left-handed hitter. Missing away is Nolan Fight. Picked up his first career Division I win last Saturday, a week ago, at Middle Tennessee. Pitched into the ninth with 5 strikeouts, 8 walks, got the win. There's a strike from Fight. 1-2 strikes, 2 down, bottom of the Navy order. The ninth hitter, Henry Mitchell, on deck with Andrew Manning after being hit by the pitch. A good lead off first. He takes off. Breaking ball gets away from the catcher, Cordero, and a stolen base by Andrew Manning. Got a real good jump off the lefty Fight and stands up into second now in scoring position. The count is even at 2-2 with 2 away to Patrick Walsh. Midshipman trying to get a rally going with 2 down. Swung on and missed, and that will end the inning. The strikeout by Fight, his second of the ball game. So the Midshipmen strand a runner at second base. We move to the 5th inning. St. Bonaventure 2, Navy nothing, with Navy baseball returning in just a moment. Fifth inning, Navy trailing St. Bonaventure 2-0. Good to be back at Max Bishop Stadium, 104th season, playing at the ballpark known as Terwilliger Brothers Field at Max Bishop Stadium, with the Mids beginning play at then Lawrence Field back in 1923. Navy has gone 37-21 at home during the first 2 seasons of Chuck Ristano's 3-season helm here for the Midshipmen. Mids opened the season a little over a week ago with that 12-0 win in the home opener on a Tuesday against Delaware State. A 5 RBI afternoon by senior captain Victor Izquierdo, and 5 shutout innings from Tyler Gren. It's Matt Archibald's turn here at home now. Breaking ball, misses high. Gavin Constantine flies that one to center field. Jake Hooten puts his glove up to block the sun, hustles in and makes the put out. High sky here on this sunny Saturday afternoon in Annapolis. Beautiful day for baseball, and a lot of folks here in Annapolis taking advantage of it. Great crowd for this early in the season, but a lot of folks over the last 2 seasons have spread the word about this brand of baseball that's being played at Navy now with head coach Chuck Ristano, and word has spread quickly. An exciting brand of baseball, not only for the fans but for players. It's really helped in recruiting. The brand of aggressive base running and hitting for the Midshipmen has really led to some outstanding recruiting classes for Ristano. It's hard to believe that this is his first head coaching job. Top of the order, Fernandez, even in the count, 1-1. One of the top pitching coaches in Division I baseball. Most recently at Notre Dame, ball bounces in the turf away. 2 balls, 1 strike. And then for 1 season at Florida State, 13 years at Notre Dame. Some really outstanding pitching staffs, and he's done the same here as a head coach at Navy. There's a line drive to center field. Jake Hooten turns, looks over his shoulder. It bounces off the warning track to the wall. Rounding second and putting on the brakes is Anthony Fernandez. So Fernandez is 2 for 2 with the Rock. Already 2 runs scored, coming off a game yesterday that saw the St. Bonaventure center fielder go 3 for 5. So a big weekend so far for the junior from Cranston, Rhode Island. At second base with 1 out for St. Bonaventure. The Bonnies with the 1-0 lead. Matt Archibald, the starter, pitching into the 5th for Navy. As 9 strikeouts, 2 walks. That was his 76th pitch. So Fernandez at second with the double. Reached on leading off the ball game with a walk and scored. Had a base hit in the third and scored. And there's a strikeout from Matt Archibald. Sends Jay Bruno back to the dugout on a ball low and away. 2 outs now. Trying to strand Fernandez at second base for the first time in this one. He has scored both the runs. Navy trailing 2-0, 2 away in the top of the 5th inning. Fastball gets away from Archibald for a ball. Chris Holcraft. 2 for 2 and 2 RBI. Twice he's brought in Anthony Fernandez from second base. Archibald's pitch. Low and away. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. Runner in scoring position is Fernandez. After the double to the wall, gets a good lead off of second base. Archibald looks back at him. His pitch catches the inside corner at 87 miles per hour. For the Navy junior pitcher from John Carroll High School. Played in the private school league in the Baltimore area. This one misses away, and then took that postgraduate year at the Naval Academy Foundation School nearby Mercersburg Academy, where he also ran track. Behind the count, 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 down. Archibald, the pitch. Hit high down into right field where Mason Ceccarelli over towards the foul line makes the put out and ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left to the bottom of the 5th. Navy trailing St. Bonaventure 2-0. Navy baseball will return in a moment. Bottom of the 5th inning. Navy trying to make up a couple runs, trailing St. Bonaventure 2-0. Couple changes defensively right now by Bonnie's head coach, Jason Rathbun. Coach Raz, as they like to call him at St. Bonaventure. Connor Bercoloni in left field. Alex Hebenstreet to right field. And Joey Calabretti, who was in right field, moves to first base. And a first pitch strike to Henry Mitchell, leading off this 5th inning for Navy. Navy, no runs, 3 hits and no errors for St. Bonaventure. 2 runs, 4 hits and no errors. And fouled down the first base line by Henry Mitchell. Behind the count, 0-2. You're listening to Navy Baseball from the Navy Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Navy Federal Credit Union proudly serves the armed forces, veterans, and their families. Our members are the mission, insured by NCUA. 0-2 the count to Navy leadoff hitter in the inning. Henry Mitchell looks at a fastball high from Nolan Fight in 4 innings. 3 hits, no runs for the left-handed starter for St. Bonaventure. He's walked 2, he's struck out 2. That was his 59th pitch of the ball game. Pitch 60, in for a called third strike to Henry Mitchell. 1 up, 1 away for Navy.
Now batting the left fielder, number 31, John Loudon.
Back to the top of the order for Navy, John Loudon, 0 for 2. Loudon came into the ball game hitting .281, swings through a breaking ball low and away at 89 miles per hour. First pitch strike to John Loudon. Loudon, 6 foot, 195 pounds, from Brookhaven, Georgia, the Marist School, suburb of Atlanta. He falls behind in the count, 0-2. So Nolan Fight doing a good job getting ahead of these Navy batters, who he has kept off the board so far. Now into the bottom of the 5th inning. Left-hander, breaking ball, swung on and missed. A strikeout from Nolan Fight. His 4th strikeout of the ball game. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 5th.
Now batting the right fielder, number 11, Mason Ceccarelli.
So Mason Ceccarelli, who was stranded at second base in his last appearance. 1 for 2 in the ball game. Had a double. Reached second base in the 3rd inning, but goes no further. He lines one down the right field line. Foul into the St. Bonaventure bullpen. One of the relievers steps up to get that foul ball. So again, for the 3rd straight time in this inning, Nolan Fight is ahead in the count to a Navy batter, this time Mason Ceccarelli, the sophomore. Breaking ball in tight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Victor Izquierdo, who lined out to shortstop in the 1st and then last inning, his last at bat, was intentionally walked. That's when Mason Ceccarelli doubled to second. Breaking ball, misses inside. Home plate umpire Stephen McMullen holds 2 fingers up in his left hand for 2 balls, 1 on his right hand for the strike. 2 away in the home half of the 5th inning. Maybe trying to get their bats going. There's a fly ball to left field. In on it is Connor Bercoloni, and he makes the put out, and that'll do it for the midshipmen. 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the 5th. Holding on to the 2-0 lead is St. Bonaventure. Navy baseball returns in a moment. Played 3 A10 teams, UMass, Richmond, and Fordham, going 3 for 5 against the Atlantic 10. So far, a perfect 1-0 against the A10 this season with that 5-4 win in the opener of the weekend series yesterday. But Navy with some work to do now, trailing 2-0 in the top of the 6th inning. Fouled off the glove of Ty DiPerno by Joey Calabretti, who has made the move from right field to first base. His first at bat as the first baseman now. Misses inside from Matt Archibald. Calabretti 0 for 2 has struck out twice against the Navy junior right-hander who delivers. Breaking ball fouled down the third base line off the glove of the third base coach. The hand of the third base coach for St. Bonaventure. Middle of the order in the top of the 6th inning. St. Bonaventure swung on and missed and actually caught. So Ty DiPerno comes up with it. 3 strikeouts for Calabretti. He heads off to the dugout. The 11th strikeout of the ball game for Matt Archibald. So he's pitched a great ball game. He's allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. Needs to get out of this and get a little help from the Navy bats. Antonio Cordero, the junior catcher, steps in. Cordero 0 for 2 in the 4th, was stranded at second as he reached on a wild pitch strikeout. First pitch ball from Matt Archibald. Talked about Archibald growing up in the Baltimore area, pitching at John Carroll High School. Delivery, breaking ball for a strike, inside corner, 77 miles per hour. Had the honor of playing in the Brooks Robinson All-Star game at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Also is All-County and a team MVP at John Carroll. Right-hander swung on and missed. Another high heater from Archibald, ahead in the count now 1-2 to Cordero. Looking for his 12th strikeout of the ball game. Gets it! Swung on through by Cordero. And Matt Archibald continues to pitch well here this season. Just kind of a hard luck starter for the midshipman. 0 for 2 so far. Trying to get his first win of the season in his 3rd start. And already has 12 strikeouts against St. Bonaventure. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Alex Ebenstreet, the senior from nearby Vienna, Virginia. Up by Tyson's Corner and a called strike. Went to St. Paul VI. Plays in the Washington Catholic Athletic Conference. Pitch misses inside from Matt Archibald. The kick and the pitch. Misses high. Archibald this time misses away, so after a pair of strikeouts, sends Ebenstreet down to first base with the walk.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 21, Christian Lamoth.
4th walk. 98 pitches so far for Matt Archibald. It looks over his shoulder to first base with the runner on with 2 outs. Painting the outside corner nicely is catcher Ty DiPerno. 1 strike out to Lamoth. So Lamoth at the plate now with 2 away. Swung on and missed. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Lamoth 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to Patrick Walsh. at third base. Looking to end the inning. And he does! 13th strikeout of the ball game for Matt Archibald. No runs, no hits, no errors, one left to the bottom of the sixth. St. Bonaventure out in front of Navy 2-0 as Navy baseball returns in a moment. A career-high 13 strikeouts for Matt Archibald, sending the midshipman to the plate here now in the bottom of the sixth inning, trailing St. Bonaventure 2-0. Those 2 runs on 4 hits off of Archibald for Navy. No runs, 3 hits off of Nolan Fight. It was a good find out of the junior college baseball ranks by St. Bonaventure head coach Jason Rathbun. Played a couple seasons at Niagara County Community College, as a number of his teammates played junior college baseball there. Had a big year last year, 4-0, and is off to a 1-0 start this season, looking for his second win of the year today against Navy. And Big Victor Izquierdo, the Navy captain, first baseman, leads off for the midshipman. He's 0 for 1 with a walk in the third. Also lined one to short in the second. Izquierdo pops that one a mile high into foul territory in front of the dugout. Reaching back, making the catch after the collision is the catcher Antonio Cordero as he runs hard into Joey Calabretti. They both pop up and they make the out, but not before they slam into one another right in front of the St. Bonaventure bench, as that one was hit high and someone didn't hear someone calling someone off, or they just didn't do it. And after that collision, they head back to their positions, making the put out on the first pitch out against Victor Izquierdo. 1 away for the midshipmen in this home half of the sixth inning, trailing 2-0. Ty DePerno 0 for 2. Checks his swing safely. First base umpire Paul McColgan gives the safe sign. 1 ball count to the sophomore catcher. Breaking ball misses high from Nolan Fight. 71st pitch of the ball game for the big left-hander who works from the stretch. Called strike. Way outside, 87 miles per hour. The kick and the pitch from Fight. Grounded foul down the third base line by Navy third base coach Adam Pavkovich. His 3rd season, the former shortstop at Alabama. Coaching at first base for the midshipmen, Chris Bosco, his 1st season with the midshipmen, coming over from Northeastern. Played his college baseball at Roger Williams. Nolan Fight. The delivery misses inside to Ty DePerno. And it's a full count to the Navy catcher. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Evan Brown on deck as Navy looks to get their bats going. So far, have been held scoreless against the junior starter. There's a bouncing ball to third. Holcraft on 1 bounce, throws high. Pulled Calabretti off the bag, but then Calabretti was able to get down and 2 are away. Evan Brown looks to get things going with 2 away for Navy. Four for 9 to start the season on the road in 3 games against Queens, and then was out of the lineup for about 10 days or so. Found his way back yesterday and playing second base. First ball strike to Evan, 0 for 2 this afternoon. As he was 0 for 2 yesterday, but did score a run and stole a base. That misses in the turf from Fight. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. 79 pitches from Nolan Fight. Both starters have gone the distance. We're in the bottom of the 6th. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Constantine to first. And that'll do it for the midshipman. 3 up, 3 down, 6 complete. St. Bonaventure 2, Navy nothing, with Navy baseball returning in a moment. To the 7th inning, Navy trailing St. Bonaventure 2-0. First pitching change of the ball game. Jackson Clark will come on in relief of Matt Archibald, the freshman right-hander from Palm City, Florida, St. John Newman High School. And it was quite a game for Matt Archibald, a career-high 13 strikeouts. 6-inning pitch, 2 runs on 4 hits, walked 3, and a career-high 13 strikeouts. He also threw 101 pitches. So this early in the season, not wanting to go much farther than that. So he heads off to the dugout after a fine performance, and will look to Jackson Clark. Clark, his 3rd appearance of the season, a 6.75 ERA so far. 1 inning pitched, allowed 3 runs on 2 hits and a couple walks. Last weekend did the plebe reliever against Air Force. 3 innings pitched in relief in game 1 of the doubleheader in that season opening series in Charlotte against Queens University. No runs, 2 hits, and 6 strikeouts. So he gets a chance to show his wares here at home for the first time in his college career at the Naval Academy. Florentine. Sir Florentino will lead things off. Those 13 strikeouts by Matt Archibald, the most by a mid since Noah's Song on April 27th, way back in 2019, when the now major leaguer had 15 strikeouts against Lehigh. What a performance with 13 strikeouts by Matt Archibald. And what a job by Navy Assistant Sports Information Director for Baseball, Marshall Filipowicz, coming up with that stat at a moment's notice. So Clark delivers. Fastball at 90 miles per hour for a strike. 3 balls, 1 strike to the leadoff hitter here in the 7th. Swung on and missed. For Coloni. Now a full count. Looks at that inside, and Fercoloni in his first at bat will go down to first base. And news from Indianapolis at the NFL Combine in his first 40-yard dash. Navy senior running back, slot back, Eli Heidenreich, a 4.47. Wow. Remember back in the day when like a 4.3 was the top in the NFL? Darryl Green used to play for the Washington Redskins, scoring to bunt, popped up, back to the screen off the back of Constantini. Gavin Constantine fouled it to the screen. He will square again. Just missing is Jackson Clark at 88 miles per hour. Tugs down on his blue cap. Midshipman wearing those cream uniforms on this Saturday, trimmed in blue with the block N on the front. Squares again, punches it to first base. Victor Izquierdo looks to second, then throws to first, where Evan Brown covers one away. Successful sacrifice bunt for St. Bonaventure, getting the runner into scoring position with one away against Navy reliever Jackson Clark.
Next up, the center fielder, number 27, Anthony Fernandez.
So Anthony Fernandez back to the top of the order, the leadoff hitter in the lineup, who has really done some damage against Navy so far in this one. First ball strike. Fernandez is 2 for 2 with a walk, 2 runs scored, with a runner at second base now. Left-handed hitting center fielder, grounds it to first. One hop, gloved by Victor Izquierdo, will step on the white bag of the now 2 bags at first base this season for the first time at Terwilliger Brothers Field. The white base in playing territory, the green base now in foul territory. The runner does advance to third, but there are now 2 outs for Jackson Clark from Palm City, Florida. St. John Neumann High School, 6'3", 195 pounds. Fouled down the first base side. Final year of his high school baseball career was at St. John Neumann High School. Before that, the first year was at Jensen Beach High School before transferring to South Fork High School for 2 years. The right-hander from the stretch looks to third, and the pitch misses away. Again at 90 miles per hour. Last year, helped lead St. John Neumann in his one season there to the 2025 District Championship as a senior. Now as a plebe for the midshipmen. That one gets away from DePerno, and a run will score. A 3-0 lead for St. Bonaventure on that 89-mile-per-hour delivery back to the screen. So now 1 run in the first for St. Bonaventure, 1 in the third, and 1 here now with 2 outs in the 7th. The midshipmen, again, have some work to do to get their bats alive. Clark's pitch fouled into the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ball just misses away. Jackson Clark, first pitcher in relief for either team after that 13 strikeout performance by Matt Archibald. St. Bonaventure's Nolan Fight has gone the distance so far as that's fouled back to the right side, back towards the Flugel Alumni Center here along King George Street. We are inside the Pines at Max Bishop Stadium this afternoon. Breaking ball misses high. First walk of the ball game in relief for Jackson Clark. And this is a huge crowd. This is like an Army-Navy game-esque crowd with standing room only in some spots of the ballpark, not only on top of Joe Duff batting facility, I like to call the flight deck, but also down along the first baseline in the stands, a big crowd. And if you can't get out here today for the remainder of this one, you got tomorrow to come by. 1 o'clock, first pitch, the series finale between Navy and St. Bonaventure. First pitch strike from Jackson Clark to Holcraft. Breaking ball, catches the outside corner. Holcraft, 2 for 3 with 2 RBI. He's driven in 2 of the 4 runs at St. Bonaventure has scored this afternoon to take the lead. Fouled off to the right side. 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Bonnies. For the Mids, no runs on 3 hits and no errors. Holcraft, a pair of base hits to go along with those 2 RBI. Clark, the runner, leaves at first. No throw as it bounced off the plate, off the glove of Ty DePerno. Gets it back to Jackson Clark. Stolen base, getting a runner into scoring position as St. Bonaventure scored their 3rd run of the ball game here in the 7th inning with 2 outs. The right-handed reliever misses low. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Clark sets at the waist, looks back to second, kicks and pitches. Breaking ball, misses. Full count with 2 away. Calabretti is on deck for St. Bonaventure. Ground ball, foul down the third baseline into the Navy bullpen where there's a little bit of activity. But right now it is Jackson Clark, the freshman in relief of the junior Matt Archibald. With a runner at second base. Full count. Again with the payoff pitch for the second time in this at-bat. Breaking ball is high, a walk. First base was open. Heading down there is Chris Holcraft. So he's a perfect 2 for 2 and a walk. Down to first base with 2 away.
First baseman number 13, Joey Calabretti.
Joey Calabretti, who slammed into his catcher for that foul ball last inning. He and Antonio Cordero going down and heading out to the mound for the first time this afternoon for the midshipmen. Will be the pitching coach. Done such a great job here in his 4th season. Tim Riley, the catcher at Rutgers, former Patriot League head coach who has really transitioned well, was here when Coach Restano arrived. And, you know, Coach Restano knowing a lot about pitching as a pitching coach himself, he's come here and done well. Navy women's basketball up at the half against Colgate, 44-26. Also in women's Patriot League basketball today, Army with a win against Lafayette, 61-42. Navy, what a season that Tim Taylor's team has had. The number 1 seed going into the Patriot League tournament, as will be the men. We are about an hour away from tip-off at Alumni Hall for Navy. Senior day for men's basketball against Colgate. 2 on, 2 out. Already a run scored for St. Bonaventure here in the 7th. They lead at 3-0. 0-2 the count to Calabretti, the first baseman. Jackson Clark delivers. Just getting enough of it squaring and fouling it back to the screen. It remains 0-2. Clark toes the rubber from right on the middle of the mound. Big delivery, struck him out. Gets out of it, did allow 1 on no hits, no errors, and 2 left. Up on your feet for the 7th inning stretch with St. Bonaventure leading Navy 3-0 with Navy baseball returning in a moment. Stretch time in Annapolis, and they are up on their feet at a packed Max Bishop Stadium. Right now, I'm going to sing a little John Denver to try to turn this one around for the midshipmen as they trail 3-0 to St. Bonaventure. The Bonnies picking up another run in the inning. Today's Navy baseball game has been brought to you by Hawkeye 360, by Johns Hopkins U.S. Family Health Plan, by the Maryland Energy Administration, by Tilley Distribution, and by Blackwall Hitch and the Lodge, Annapolis. Andrew Manning will lead things off for the midshipmen. Andrew Manning mashing at friendly confines of Bishop Stadium during his 3 seasons, posting a career .354 batting average in home games here in Annapolis, while racking up 52 runs scored and 33 RBI in 57 contests. So Andrew Manning loves playing here in Annapolis at home. Last season saw most of his time as a designated hitter, but now, as actually the right fielder, this year as a designated hitter. And he will lead things off in the home half after the stretch here in the 7th inning. And St. Bonaventure will play him straight away, and we will see the return to the mound by starter Nolan Fight. Works from the stretch as he has all game. Flooped out to left field. Will it drop in? No, it doesn't. Connor Maloney was able to hard run in and make that play, makes the put out. So first pitch out to Andrew Manning. Not what the midshipman wanted there, trailing by 3 runs. So he'll head off to the dugout. And the freshman Jake Hooten for the midshipman. He's 1 for 2 with a base hit in the 2nd. Reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. With 1 away. 88 miles per hour in tight and high for the strike to Hooten. Hooten, 6'2", 205 pounds. He hits a fly ball to right field in the alley, and there to make the catch is Alec Hebenstreet, 2 away. So just a couple pitches so far in this inning for Nolan Fight, and he has 2 outs. Patrick Walsh, freshman third baseman for the midshipmen. Walsh is 0 for 2. Most recently a strikeout in the 4th inning. Looking to rally the mids with 2 away. He hits a hard one-hopper to second base. Joey Bruno over to first, and that'll do it for the midshipmen in the 7th. 3 up, 3 down. Midshipmen trail 3-0 heading to the 8th in Annapolis. To the 8th inning, Navy trailing St. Bonaventure 3-0. The latest in Naval Academy athletics is as close as your computer, tablet, or smartphone, thanks to NavySports.com and the newly designed Navy Sports app. You get all the information you need on all 36 varsity sports, including Navy baseball and the midshipmen student athletes. Make sure to log on to NavySports.com or download the Navy Sports app today. Also, follow Navy Sports on Facebook, X, and Instagram to be kept in the know on all things Navy athletics. And all things so far in this ball game have been St. Bonaventure starter, junior Nolan Fight, as he has held the midshipmen scoreless on just 3 hits. Jackson Clark, who came on in relief of Matt Archibald, who had a career high 13 strikeouts for the midshipmen. His first full inning, second full inning, actually came in to start the 7th. A little bit of a delay. He's having trouble with his communications from the Navy bench, so I think they might bring out another little transistor speaker for him out there as Coach Restano makes sure this isn't counted as a mound appearance. He'll be coming out to talk to Jackson Clark. Tristan Champa, senior redshirt right-hander from Wilmington, Massachusetts, warming up in the bullpen for St. Bonaventure. No activity right now in the Navy bullpen with Jackson Clark returning for his second inning. And he's going to run off to get the little speaker. Thought he might have to go off to the locker room or the dugout, but got it from Navy pitching coach Tim Riley, and we'll head back to the mound. So it's about the size, about the length of a pen, but it's almost like Velcro, and it goes in the cap, and the pitcher gets the signal from the coach there, so he's able to hear it, and it wasn't working, so he got a new one, and we are all set to go in the 8th. First pitch of the inning from Clark. Misses low and away to Antonio Cordero. Catcher for St. Bonaventure. Cordero 0 for 3. A pair of strikeouts against Matt Archibald. Now the first appearance against Jackson Clark. And Clark is ahead in the count. 0-2. The pitch. Breaking ball. Bounces in the dirt. Away for the first ball. One ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. This time Jackson Clark misses outside. Midshipmen 6-2 with 2 wins on the road, 2 wins here at home, and 2 wins on the road but at neutral site games. The right-hander's pitch, breaking ball high and away at 89 miles per hour. Already a final in the Patriot League this afternoon in Lewisburg. Bucknell knocking off Merrimack 3-2 with the walk to the leadoff hitter here. Down to first base goes Antonio Cordero. 1 on, nobody out. A little bit later on will be Lafayette at William and Mary. And we're going to go for a pitching change for the midshipmen. So that will do it for Jackson Clark. We will come back and have that pitching change for you just a moment. Navy trailing 3-0 here in the 8th. In the 8th inning here in Annapolis, on the yard of the United States Naval Academy at Max Bishop Stadium, the second pitching change of the afternoon for the midshipmen. That'll do it for Jackson Clark. 1 inning pitched. He'll be relieved by Sachin Gopal. So for Clark, 1 inning pitched, 1 run. It was earned. He did walk 4, struck out 1, and had 1 wild pitch on 36 pitches. So Sachin Gopal will come in for the midshipmen. The plebe, second appearance of the season in 1 1/3 inning of relief in the series finale versus Queens in Charlotte to start the season. He allowed a single run on 2 hits with 3 Ks and a walk, and he'll get a chance to toe the rubber here at Terwilliger Brothers Field for the first time in his career as a midshipman. Out there now in relief. Needs to shut down St. Bonaventure. Already leading this one 3-0 in the 8th inning. Played 2 years of varsity baseball at the Dexter Southfield School. Native of Wellesley, Massachusetts. The right-hander looks in and delivers. Misses away at 81 miles per hour on his first pitch here at Max Bishop Stadium. One of the big freshman arms coming out of the bullpen early this season for the midshipmen. Hebben Street. Ahead in the count, 1 ball, now 2 balls. Alex from Northern Virginia, Vienna, Virginia, 6'7", 220 pounds. The senior. 2 balls, no strikes, middle of the order. Man on first for St. Bonaventure to lead off the inning. Misses away, nicely kept from going back to the screen by Navy sophomore catcher Ty DePerno. DePerno, the Patriot League Rookie of the Year 1 year ago. 3 balls, no strikes, nobody out. Gopal looks over his shoulder in the stretch, kicks and delivers right down the pipe for a strike at 83 miles per hour. Midshipmen a couple weeks away from their Patriot League opener when they will travel to Lehigh on March 13th, 14th, and 15th is when the midshipmen start the Patriot League portion of their schedule. Here up against an A-10 foe, in for a strike. So Hebben Street already started down towards first base. He is called back to home plate by the umpire Stephen McMullen. And the count now full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Gopal. Pitch. Now he misses away and for the walk. Walks the first batter he faces here in the 8th. A ball game that has seen St. Bonaventure score single runs in the 1st, 3rd, and 7th. Tim Riley, Navy pitching coach, heading out to the mound. When it's a pitching coach and Tim Riley, it's usually a discussion. When it's a pitching change, it'll be the former Division I pitching coach, now in his 3rd year as Navy head coach, Chuck Ristano. Saw Eric Beatty, the sports marketing director here at the Naval Academy, his list of promotions coming up this season. Of course, Bark at the Park a little bit later on this year, and can't wait to see the Ristano family, Frenchie, Rocky's return to Bark in the Park. A lot of different promotions. And tomorrow, it will be running the bases. So if you come out to the ball game tomorrow, your kids can stick around and run the bases. And again, I've said all along, I think the parents, the grandparents, the family and friends have more fun watching the kids out on Terwilliger Brothers Field than anybody watching them run the bases. Right now there are 2 runners on base for St. Bonaventure with nobody out here in the 8th inning as Navy trails 3-0. Patrick Walsh at third base is squaring, looking like he's going to charge quickly on a bunt attempt, and squaring to bunt is Lamoth. He does. The pitch misses outside. And Walsh was anchored at third on that play with Victor Izquierdo charging hard in from first base to the left-handed hitter. So Gopel looks in to Ty DePerno. Squaring to bunt is Lamoth. Pulls back. Runners remain where they are. It's for a strike. That time, Patrick Walsh also charging hard in from third with Henry Mitchell covering third base. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Midshipman would love a double play here to try to slow this thing down for St. Bonaventure, who's already out in front 3-0. The pitch, squares and pulls back and gets the ball back up the middle. So kind of a fake bunt, base hit will score a run for St. Bonaventure, and they take a 4-0 lead. Well done by Christian Lamoth as he squared to bunt, pulled it back, and with all the activity and movement on the infield of the charging corners, and he was able to find a hole into right center field. Scores the 4th run of the ball game, the first over Gopel, and that will be it for him, as we'll have another pitching change with Navy third-year head coach Chuck Ristano heading out to the mound. We will have that for you when we return. We're in the 8th. St. Bonaventure 4, Navy nothing. Navy baseball returns in a moment. With 2 on and nobody out here in the 8th, the Navy trailing 4-0. Jackson Beatty comes in relief for the midshipmen. 2 innings pitched in relief against South Carolina last weekend, allowing a single run on 3 hits. Struck out 2 in an inning of scoreless relief, closing out Delaware State, a Navy's home opening win here at Max Bishop Stadium 10 days ago, and is handed the ball here for the first time in this series by Navy head coach Chuck Ristano. So the right-hander looking to shut down St. Bonaventure as they now have a 4-0 lead. Beatty, 6 foot, 185 pounds, from the home of Coors Beer, Golden, Colorado. Played his high school baseball at Lakewood High School. Next up for the midshipmen after this one, they host Coppin State after this series on Tuesday here. First pitch for 3 p.m., but this series will close out tomorrow. One more chance for you to see weekend baseball here in this first weekend of March, which will begin tomorrow. On this final day of February here today, tomorrow afternoon, Navy and St. Bonaventure at 1 o'clock. If you can't make it, we'll have it right here on Navy Athletics YouTube and also on the Navy Radio Network. So here's Jackson Beatty. That 3-quarter deliveries. He drops down. The right-hander throws that one outside at 85 miles per hour. Back in 2023, or Patriot League Rookie of the Week, in for a strike. Now a senior, 6 foot, 185 pounds. Pitched in 12 games, all in relief last year. A 1-1 record. Jackson Beatty. And the bunt attempt, fouled back off the pole at the screen by Connor Vercoloni from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Plymouth North. They had over 30 inches of snow in that storm last week in Plymouth, Massachusetts, just off the Cape. This one wide and gets away. A wild pitch from Beatty. Back to the screen. The runners advance. So with no one out now, and the count 2-2, St. Bonaventure has runners at third base and second base, all with a 4-0 lead. So having to cut down the runs, the Navy infield is drawn in. 2-2. Misses away. Vercoloni, 6 foot, 175 pounds, right-handed hitter. He lines one for a base hit into left field. 1 run scores for St. Bonaventure. Fielded by John Loudon. He'll bring it into second base. 2-run score, and it's a double for Connor Vercoloni. A 2-run double. 3 runs here in the 8th, and now it's a 6-0 St. Bonaventure Bonnies lead. This has been their big inning at the plate. Before this, single runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 7th, and now 3 here with still nobody out in this 8th inning. Jackson Beatty with a runner at second. Delivers the bunt right back to him. He'll glove it, flip it over to first base, the first out of the inning, and St. Bonaventure advances the runner just 90 feet from home plate now at third base on the sacrifice bunt. Anthony Fernandez. What a series he has had yesterday and today. 3 for 5 yesterday, 2 for 3 today. 2 runs scored here today. Swung on and missed at 86 miles per hour on the inside corner from Jackson Beatty. The senior out of the bullpen for the midshipman with the runner at third. Infield remains drawn in. There's a ball right up the middle for a base hit. So Fernandez continues to swing the hot stick. Scores the run on the RBI as after the double and moving to third on the bunt, Vercoloni scores. And now it's a 7-0 lead for St. Bonaventures with 1 out. Brings up Joey Bruno. Bruno, 0 for 2 with a pair of walks and a runner at first. That pitch outside with Anthony Fernandez, the redshirt junior. He has reached base 4 of the 5 times he's come to the plate this afternoon. Beatty looks over his shoulder at him. Fernandez stays put there, and it hit the batter on his shoulder. So Joey Bruno down to first base with Fernandez moving to second. Hit by pitch. Just got his jersey, the white portion of this Bonnie's jerseys. They start around the shoulders in white and then slowly transition to gray right around the chest down to the waist, and then the full gray pants after going brown on top of gray yesterday. Tomorrow, the weekend home debut of the new Navy pinstripe uniforms. Beatty misses 85 miles per hour. Runners at first and second. Yesterday, it was the Jolly Rogers uniforms that were so popular last year from the Army-Navy game. The pitch, Beatty for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Runners at first and second in what has already been a 4-run inning for St. Bonaventure on this sunny afternoon at Max Bishop Stadium. Beatty's delivery right down the pipe for a strike at 84 miles per hour. Calabretti is on deck, the first baseman. That one misses away. Chris Holcraft, the senior, who's also had a big day at the plate. 2 for 3, with a walk. As the Bonnies are trying to bat around here in the 8th. That one gets away from Ty DePerno. The runners advance. Something that has really dogged the midshipmen today. Not only the wild pitches, but like that one, a pass ball where runners have advanced and on a couple of occasions have scored afterwards. So the Navy infield forced to draw in once again with those runners now at second and third and one away. Fouled off to the right side. Kind of does away with what Navy would have hoped would have been a possible double play situation. Full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Calabretti, actually Colehart, Holcraft, fouls it to the right side again. Up over the Fitzgerald Fieldhouse here behind home plate. Max Bishop Stadium. Sunny day, but the lights are on to give you a better look with the video here on Navy Athletics YouTube. Jackson Beatty in relief, pitches, fisted up the middle for a base hit. Fielded by Jake Hooten. He'll fire it home, but not in time. 2-run score on the double by Chris Holcraft. So the top of the order continues to deliver in this one for St. Bonaventure. Holcraft now 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs. And that will bring Chuck Ristano out for another pitching change here in the 8th inning. It's 9-0. St. Bonaventure out in front of Navy in the 8th, and we'll return in a moment. With the midshipmen trailing now 9-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Coach Ristano hands the ball to Aiden Lucero on in relief of Jackson Beatty. He is the 6th pitcher of the afternoon for the midshipmen after a strong start by Matt Archibald. Left the game after throwing 101 pitches and a career-high 13 strikeouts. But since then, 7 runs. I think he left with a 2-0 lead, and now 7 runs have put St. Bonaventure up 9-0. 9 runs on 8 hits and no errors for the Bonnies. For the midshipmen, still no runs, 3 hits and no errors. Matt Archibald pitched 6 innings, did allow 2 runs, and had those 13 strikeouts. But since then, 7 runs have been scored against the Navy bullpen. So now they're going to try to shut it down with a runner at second base and 1 away. As Calabretti steps in, swings through the first delivery by Aiden Lucero. Aiden, 6'1", 200 pounds, from Huntington Beach, California. Huntington Beach High School, great surfer country. Looks back to second, kicks pitch, the runner takes off, and it's fouled back. It was a hit and run. So Holcraft, who just slid into second base, will have to go back and slid into third. Will have to go back to second base now with an 0-2 count to Joey Calabretti. 6'2", 205 pounds from Percy, Pennsylvania. From P27 Academy, right-handed hitter. The cleanup hitter right now, the Pickoff attempt at second by Lucero. Caught by Evan Brown. Holcraft back in safely. Shadows not a factor right now. The pitch. Swung on and missed. He struck him out. Aiden Lucero with the strikeout out of the bullpen for the midshipman. 2 away. Lucero doing exactly what Coach Restano and Coach Riley wanted him to do. Throw strikes, and he does it and gets the strikeout. And now Cordero, who walked to begin this inning and scored, is now up again. So the Bonnies have batted around. Trying to end that is Aiden Lucero, the right-hander. Sets at his waist, looks back to second. The pitch catches the outside corner at 86 miles per hour. Four o'clock this afternoon on the yard at Alumni Hall. The number 1 team in the Patriot League, the Navy men's basketball team, taking on Colgate on senior day. So if you're out and about and want to head over to Alumni Hall, you can catch the game also on the Navy Radio Network. The pitch. Swung on and missed. 87 miles per hour. Waist high and away from Aiden Lucero. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Midshipman trying to get out of this one. Top of the 8th inning. A 6th run, 8th inning. For the Bonnies, whose bats have come alive. Lucero steps off the back of the rubber. Middle of the order right now. Cordero 0 for 3. Did walk to lead off the inning and scored. Lucero's pitch. Low and outside. What a day it has been so far for Navy Athletics, with the big win by the women's lacrosse team. Just a long fly ball from here at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, knocking off number 7 Florida 14-11. Pitch from Lucero, bounces in the turf, kept in front by Ty DePerno. Full count. So you got to believe the Mids are going to move up in the standings, in the rankings. Came in number 10, now 5-0, beating Florida 14-11. Next up for the women's lacrosse team at USF next Saturday in Tampa. Lucero with the full count. Runner takes off. Bouncing ball fouled on the third base line. It was Matt Archibald who started the game, went 6 innings, and then relief appearances by Clark, Gopal, Beatty, and now Lucero. Holcraft leads off second base. Scored the latest 2 runs in the game off his double. Swung on and missed. He struck him out to end the inning, but not before St. Bonaventure scored 6 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 1 left. We move to the bottom of the 8th. St. Bonaventure 9, Navy nothing. Navy baseball returns in a moment. Someone coming out of the bullpen. Bottom of the 8th, Navy trailing St. Bonaventure 9-0, and the first pitching change of the afternoon for St. Bonaventure as Tristan Champa comes on in relief of Nolan Fight. What a performance by Fight. 7 innings pitched, no runs, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. He threw 84 pitches. He won his first career game in Division I last week on the road against Middle Tennessee. And looks like he could get that second win of the season here if the bullpen can hold the midshipman off now. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, Tristan Champa on in relief. Champa, third appearance of the season, does have a save. I don't think he'll get a save in this one if it remains where it is now. But that's not a concern for St. Bonaventure. They just want to get out of here with a win and even this weekend series. So the midshipman here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Henry Mitchell had the big day at the plate yesterday, 2 for 2. Here this afternoon, 1 for 2 with a base hit and a strikeout. Champa delivers in for a strike at 88 miles per hour. The senior right-hander, 5'11", 195 pounds, from the Boston area, Wilmington, Massachusetts, Wilmington High School. Wilmington used to be the practice home of the Boston Bruins back in the day. The right-hander delivers. Bouncing ball, hard hit to first. Glove there by Joey Calabretti and makes the putout, 1 down. So St. Bonaventure head coach Jason Rathbun's got to be really pleased with what he's seen so far from his junior college transfer, Nolan Fight, the junior right-hander, pitching outstanding shutout baseball for 7 innings here today, and last week pitched into the 9th with a 1-0 shutout win over Middle Tennessee. So in his Division I career, after pitching so well at Niagara County Community College, has yet to give up a run through almost 2 complete ball games. Tristan Champa is the first reliever of the ball game. Tyler Bouchard, pinch hitting for the midshipman, hits a fly ball deep to right field. Back at the 370 marker on the warning track and making the catch is Alex Hebenstreet, and 2 away. First pitch, long fly out into the wind by Tyler Bouchard, who also pinch hit yesterday in Navy's 5-4 win over these same St. Bonaventure Bonnies. Mason Ciccarelli steps up for the midshipman, 1 for 3 with a double in the 3rd. Was stranded at second base. Tristan Champa, 2 quick outs. Low for a ball. Victor Izquierdo on deck for the midshipman. The right-hander looks in over his shoulder. He sits right around the waist and pitches. Bounces it back. 2 balls, no strikes. 2 out. The midshipman trailing 9-0. A 6-run 8th inning. This is the bottom of the 8th now for the midshipman. Trying to get on the board with 2 away. The pitch. Fouled down off the plate by Mason Ciccarelli. Mason had that on-base streak at 10 games dating back to last season. It ended yesterday. Has reached base now in 30 of his last 32. Left-handed hitting right fielder. 2 balls, 1 strike. Heading the count now 3-1. Anthony Fernandez, the center fielder, fades Mason a little bit over towards right field. And it's at top of the order for St. Bonaventure that's really done the damage today. Anthony Fernandez and Chris Holcraft. In for a strike, so it was high, right on the edge of the strike zone. Ciccarelli thought it was outside the strike zone, so he threw his bat back towards the dugout, which was nicely picked up by his captain. Victor Izquierdo flipped back to him, so the count is now full with 2 away. And a line drive to center field. Fernandez steps in and makes the catch. So a couple hard hit balls for the midshipmen, all for naught. there in the 8th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. We move to the 9th. St. Bonaventure 9, Navy nothing, with Navy baseball returning in a moment. To the 9th, St. Bonaventure steps to the plate, leading Navy 9-0. A couple changes in the field for the midshipmen. We gave you the at bat last inning of Tyler Bouchard. He will replace John Loudon in left field, and Will Howard will give Ty DePerno a break here in the 9th inning, back behind the plate. Today's Navy baseball game has been brought to you by Hawkeye 360 by Johns Hopkins U.S. Family Health Plan. First pitch in for a strike from Aiden Lucero. By the Maryland Energy Administration, by Tilly Distribution, and by Blackwall Hitch and the Lodge, Annapolis. Aiden Lucero returns after coming on in relief in the 8th to shut things down. Lucero's pitch. Bounce just gets by the outreach glove of Patrick Walsh at third. A hard hit line drive off the bat of Alex Hebenstreet to start the inning. So Hebenstreet with a leadoff base hit just outside the reach of Navy freshman third baseman Patrick Walsh. So the leadoff hitter is on. Bottom of the order for St. Bonaventure. Christian Lamoth, left-handed hitter. The designated hitter. He's 1 for 4. Had a base hit and a run scored in that big 8th inning for the Bonnies. With a runner at first, Lucero bouncing ball in the hole for a base hit towards second base. The runner will hold at second in Hebenstreet as kind of a hit and run type deal there where Evan Brown was moving over towards second base, and that's exactly where the ball found its way. So runners on at first and second now for the Bonnies. Connor Vercoloni, a little bit of an open stance at the plate now with a couple of runners on base. Will Howard back behind the plate, stops at one. Used to say the dirt. Now all the base paths here at Terwilliger Brothers Field are field turf. The pitch swung on and missed. When Chuck Restano arrived here a few years ago, you still had dirt at home plate, first, second, and third. With the new resurfacing of the field turf here, the only dirt that remains on the field inside the lines is the pitcher's mound. Lucero just outside at 76 miles per hour. 2 balls, 1 strike, nobody out. Runners at first and second for the Bonnies, looking for their 4th win of the season. Misses inside. A monster road trip to start the season. 9th of 18 straight for the Western New York St. Bonaventure Bonnies. starting the season on the road. Their first home game is March 20th against St. Louis in the A10. St. Louis making a name for themselves in college basketball in the A10 this season. And their baseball team will travel to St. Bonaventure, New York. What a hour and a half south of Buffalo in March for the home opener for the Bonnies. Midshipmen, their Saturday appearance for the first time this season, blocked by Will Howard behind the plate. It's a walk to Vercoloni. And a huge crowd here today. Really, it's beautiful weather. Highs in the mid-50s here this afternoon. Has brought a big crowd out to Max Bishop Stadium, taking advantage of all that is Navy baseball. Free to come in. Great concessions. Was downstairs looking at the offerings of beers here at the ballpark. Fantastic line of different beers and the great grilled burgers and dogs. So the bases are now loaded for St. Bonaventure here in the ninth. Strike at 87 miles per hour. Knee high from Aiden Lucero. The fifth reliever for the midshipmen. Fouled off to the right side by shortstop Gavin Constantine, who a long time ago to start off this game, back I think in the second inning, throwing some leather around with a great diving catch of a line drive off the bat of Victor Izquierdo. He lines one himself into left field, scoring the runner from third, and that will be it as it's played in quickly by Tyler Bouchard and cut off by Patrick Walsh, but not before the 10th run of the game crosses the plate for St. Bonaventure. And with nobody out, the bases remain loaded now. Navy in a one-run game yesterday, beating the Bonnies in the opener of the series 5-4. And we'll wrap up the series here in Annapolis tomorrow at 1 o'clock. The pitch swung on and missed by Anthony Fernandez. Fernandez, 3 for 4 with an RBI and 3 runs scored. Lucero misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kevin Maurer, the sophomore left-hander, had such a great end of the season last year for the midshipmen out in the bullpen. Fouled off to the right side. High over the Joe Duff batting facility. A couple of young people from there running to chase that down and bring it back and see what Navy marketing will give them for their wear. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. 1 run is scored. The bases are loaded. Fouled back again. So a bunch of Chick-fil-A sandwiches being offered for those balls as they're returned to the marketing table, which is right behind the Navy class of 1971 dugout. So some moms will be excited that their kids will be coming home with dinner already. Flies one to left field. Tyler Bouchard will get it. Tagging from third and then going back to third base is Christian Lamoth. So an out on the fly ball to left field. First put out of the ball game by Tyler Bouchard. A lot of depth in the outfield for the midshipmen this season. An example of that is Andrew Manning as a designated hitter through the beginning of the year, with John Loudon and Jake Hooten arriving on the yard. Tyler Bouchard, who had such a great season last year, try to earn a spot in the starting lineup out there right now. Big season that Mason Ceccarelli not only had that last year, but starting off this year. The bases are loaded. Will Howard stops it behind the plate to the right-handed hitting Joey Bruno from Lake Orion, Michigan. Only player on this roster for St. Bonaventure from Michigan. High strike at 87 miles per hour from Aiden Lucero. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bases are loaded. 1 run is scored here in the 9th. There's a long fly ball to left field. Bouchard back towards the warning track. It's off the top of the wall. Bouchard will play it in. Bouchard to the short cutoff. And that will score 2 runs as the ball went off the top of the fence in the power alley in left field. A long, high fly ball, and really couldn't advance because the runners didn't know if Tyler could go up and catch that one. So 2 runs score, 2 runners remain on, and back out to the mound for a pitching change is Navy head coach Chuck Restano. As he does that, we will take a break and return in a moment. Kevin Maurer out of the Navy bullpen to pitch for the midshipmen. Navy trailing in this one 12-0. That was a 2-run single off the bat of Jay Bruno. Only the bases were loaded. The 2 runs scored because it went off the top of the wall, and they had to hold on to see if Tyler Bouchard would be able to go up and get it. You're listening to Navy Baseball from the Navy Federal Credit Union broadcast booth. Navy Federal Credit Union proudly serves the armed forces, veterans, and their families. Our members of the mission insured by NCUA. Scott Wyckoff, along with Director Britton McMahon, Navy Assistant Sports Information Director for Baseball, Marshall Filipowicz, as the midshipmen just has not been their day as they ran into a red-hot left-hander in one Nolan Fight for St. Bonaventures, who held them scoreless through 7 innings. At the same time, the Bonnies' bats came to life, especially the top of the order. Fernandez, Bruno, and Holcraft. Fernandez, 3 for 5. Holcraft, 1 for 3. Actually, Holcraft, 3 for 4. And Bruno, 1 for 3. And between them, 7 RBI. So that'll give you an idea why this St. Bonnie's team has put up 10 runs on the midshipmen here this afternoon. So Kevin Maurer steps in, faces Chris Holcraft. 3 for 4, 4 RBIs, 3 base hits, and a walk. So he's been on base 4 of the 5 times he's come to the plate. Maurer will try to end that now. The left-hander out of the bullpen misses. So it's the first appearance of the season. Kevin Maurer, sophomore left-hander, 5'9", from Canton, Georgia, Woodstock High School. Saw time as both a starter and a reliever last year for the midshipmen as a freshman. Misses away. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners at second and first for St. Bonaventure. Navy left-hander looks back to the runner at second and pitches. There's a bouncing ball off the glove of third baseman Patrick Walsh. Runners advancing. It was Constantine who ran down. It looks like it might be an error. As he looked to glove it, Patrick Walsh did in the hole. So it's 12-0 now. St. Bonaventure. They've scored 3 here in the 9th. So the bases are loaded for Kevin Maurer. Maurer, the left-hander, pitches fouled to the right side by Joey Calabretti. Calabretti has struck out 5 times today. Really the coldest of some red-hot bats for St. Bonaventure. Swings through that one for a strike. Joey Calabretti, 6'2", from Percy, Pennsylvania. right-handed hitting first baseman. Started in right field, then moved to first. Tries to check his swing. Does he? No, he doesn't. Sixth time he has struck out here this afternoon. So 2 are away now. As the bases remain loaded, Kevin Maurer gets the strikeout. So Maurer striking out Calabretti. And here's Antonio Cordero. Cordero 0 for 4. Did walk and score in the 8th. He batted twice in the 8th inning. A walk and scored, and he struck out. He has struck out 3 times in this ball game. The middle of the order for the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. Playing out of the Atlantic 10 last weekend. Took 1 of 3 from Middle Tennessee State. Not too far from Nashville and Franklin, Tennessee, if I'm correct. The home of Chris Childers, of course, of Sirius XM fame. Full Ride with Rick Neuheisel. Childers, a Middle Tennessee State alum, who I think is going to be the PA announcer for the football team coming up this season. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out. The Bonnies out in front of the mids, 12-0 here in the top of the 9th inning. Fouled off to the right side by Antonio Cordero, the junior catcher from Pittsburgh Central Catholic. Big goings-on in Pittsburgh right now, getting ready for the NFL draft. Right now the combine is going on in Indianapolis. Told you a little bit earlier that Navy running back, ground ball, gloved this time by Walsh to second, gets him and ends the inning. We'll tell you about the combine and Navy football coming up as we return for the 9th with Navy trailing in this one 12-0. We'll return in a moment. Home half of the 9th inning for the midshipmen, trailing in this one 12-0 to the St. Bonaventure Bonnies. What a day it has been already for Navy athletics. Women's lacrosse, 10th-ranked mids, beating 7th-ranked Florida 14-11 at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Up next for the 5-0 mids, USF next Saturday, as they will definitely move up in the standings. And how about the win for the Navy women's basketball team, knocking off Colgate in Hamilton, New York, 73-63. The number 1 seed in the upcoming Patriot League women's basketball tournament. Tim Taylor's team, and also the midshipman basketball team, where the number 1 seed coming up, play their first game. So Leo Mangiamelli will step in for the midshipmen, designate a pinch hitter from Westfield, New Jersey, Westfield High School. So Mangiamelli gets his first swings of the ball game. 6'4", 205 pounds. Matched up against Tristam Champa. Navy men's basketball team at 4 o'clock. Their tip-off at Alumni Hall, Senior Day, against Colgate. And then they wait to see who they will play on Thursday night at 7 here in Annapolis. You got to come out and cheer on the midshipmen in the quarterfinals of the Patriot League tournament. The winner of the Patriot League tournament goes to March Madness in the NCAAs. The pitch catches the outside corner, and already a day that has seen Navy senior football player Eli Heidenreich run a 4.47 in the 40 yards at the Combine in Indianapolis. And there's talk that he did that with the running backs, and he could stick around and also work out with the receivers, because there's talk that he could be a real slot back, kind of like a Julian Edelman in the NFL. One ball, two strikes to the Navy pinch hitter. Fouled back to the screen. Midshipman men's lacrosse today at Boston University on the road. What a day for Navy athletics and all the staff. You think about the teams and all the players, the mids, but all the staff that help put together the travel plans and all needs to be done for the home games at all the different facilities. Misses the outside corner, hosting home games at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium today, here at Max Bishop Stadium, at Alumni Hall, and also those Navy teams traveling on their own. So much goes into getting these games played, and so much work by the staff. There's a base hit up the middle for the midshipman. So Leo takes a nice swing at it and gets off, the leadoff hitter here in the ninth. And a first at bat also now for Will Howard. Howard back behind the plate for Ty DePerno. Will Howard from Bayshore, Kansas, in Linwood Bayshore High School. The catcher, real big recruit for the midshipman, the freshman behind the plate. 6'1", 198 pounds. First pitch from Ciampa. Low for a ball. One ball, no strikes, nobody out. Runner at first for Navy. Navy's scoreless with 4 hits. The St. Bonaventure bats. There's a hit to center field for the midshipman. Will Howard laces one, taking advantage of his at-bat. And 2 on and nobody out for the midshipman here in the ninth. And a pinch hitter will come up. So Noah Adidas steps in, the sophomore who came on at the end of last season. Grew up in Miami, went to American Heritage High School. And this is Noah Adidas' first at-bat of the season. So Adidas right up on the plate. Right-handed hitter with runners at first and second and nobody out. Chance to show what you can do now. Fouls it down the right field line, high over towards the stands, and that will be out of play. Oh, it kind of blew back in, and it drops right at the feet of Joey Calabretti. So that did not go out of play. Mangiamelli at second base after the base hit. At first base after the base hit, Will Howard. Noah Adidas, the pinch hitter, at the plate. 0-1 the count. Tristan Ciampa, the right-hander for St. Bonaventure, delivers. In for a strike. High and tight at 85 miles per hour. Navy really utilizing the TrackMan system here. You might hear us giving the different numbers during the ball game. Swung on and missed. Strikes out. Noah Adidas goes down, 1 away. In for the midshipman, Mac McCammons. McCommons, the catcher. So Mac McCommons gets an at-bat here. McCommons steps in. Also the first at-bat for Mac this season. I think so. Could be wrong. No, I am wrong. It's his first official at-bat. He did score a run, but didn't get an at-bat. So Mac McCommons steps in now. 1 strike. Jake Hooten is scheduled up next. The right-hander, Tristan Ciampa, in relief. Bouncing ball to third. Holcraft steps on third, throws over to first, got him. So that will do it this afternoon. The win for St. Bonaventure. 12 runs, 13 hits, and no errors. For Navy, no runs, 5 hits, and no errors. And the story of this ball game for St. Bonaventure, the starter on the mound, the junior transfer from junior college, Nolan Fight. 3 hits, no runs. He pitches 7 innings, and he struck out 4. Tristan Champa in relief, pitched 2 innings, gave up 2 hits, and gave up no runs. Kind of lost in the big numbers at the end of the game was the pitching performance by Matt Archibald. Archibald goes 6 innings, allows just 2 runs on 4 hits, and he struck out a career-high 13. But then it was the bullpen that did struggle for the midshipmen here in this one, but a chance to wipe it free tomorrow afternoon as Navy closes out their first weekend home series of the season right here at Max Bishop Stadium, 1 o'clock against the St. Bonaventure Bonnies, the rubber game of this 3-game series, with Navy taking the opener yesterday 5-4. And with the Bonnies coming back with the shutout win here this afternoon. So that'll do it for me, Scott Wyckoff, for Director Britton McMahon, Navy Assistant Sports Information Director for Baseball, Marshall Filipowicz. Thanks for joining us. We'll be back here tomorrow. Hope to see you for Navy Baseball.